Okay, we're back yet again. Alright, let's see. Let's keep moving. Don't want to hit the hezzy. Where we need to go. Okay. What the? I haven't attuned to it yet. Oh my gosh. I'm upset. Wait, no, hold on. It'll be quicker for me to get down here now. So earlier today, we last left off with us getting to, what's the name? Palexstan, doing a few quests trying to save a family. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it to 100%. What else is there? Probably should have set some time aside to hunt down Aetherites, because I haven't even found that. I haven't even found an Aetherite in the first area underneath Charlian, but it is what it is. So let's let's keep moving. So as of right now, for anyone just tuning in, it's Thavnair mainly that's kinda it's been interesting. So let's go. Here's what we're gonna do first before we proceed on over there. We're gonna head here, and I better be able to attune to that dumb thing. So we got nothing is sure. I want to hold on to that. I need to make sure I do. Yeah. Can I or can I not attune to this now? I can. I love the new Aetherite teleportation. Alright, let's see what we gotta do. The Radiant Host Soldier has a message for the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Greetings, Honor Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have a message from His Excellency, the Satrap. Brave Scions, you have my gratitude for aiding my people in this most trying of times. Alas, matters here at Megadutta prevent me from meeting you all in person. As a token of mine appreciation, I have arranged for a feast to be held in your honor. May it nourish you in preparation for the trials ahead. Such are the words of Master Vitra. The feast he speaks of awaits you at Mahane. Pray make your way there whenever your business here is done. We thank you for your kindness indeed. I was hoping we might find a place to discuss our next course of action, and that seems an ideal venue. And to you, Mats, there is someone we had hoped to introduce you to in particular. While I am loath to detain you further, might you spare a moment of your time? A personal invitation, knowing full well your services are of the highest demand right now. This must be important. Worry not, we'll save some food for you, so take your time. Take all the time you need. Thank you, Fran. Whenever you are ready, please join me in the Aetherite Plaza. I shall be on ahead. Let's go. I wonder who wants to see me. Sir, I am over here. Access to the Aetherite you see there has been restricted to a select few ever since the tower first appeared. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, but it was deemed too dangerous to permit the free movement of visitors at a time of emergency, a risk we cannot take. In light of recent developments, however, the South Tribe has decided that such restrictions would only hinder our efforts to combat the final days. As such, I would encourage you to attune with the Aetherite before proceeding along the corridor. Well, kind of already did that. Good to know I didn't put it off for too long. So where are we going now? Oh. Yeah. Tune to this bad boy. What you wearing? Crypt lurker, meh. He must be wondering what this place is. You stand in the hall of the Radiant Host, from where leadership oversees all of Razat Han's military operations. Sundrop, our destination, lies just ahead. Oh. Welcome to Sundrop. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to... Who's this? Oh, so you're the famous Namikaze, eh? I knew at the moment you stepped through the door, you were the look of ones who's walked through hell. Shrabat, please. Sherbert, please. You were speaking to this. What disrespect is there in playing a fellow warrior? A compliment. We're all friends here, or will be soon enough. More formally, then, for the benefit of my countrymen, it is a pleasure to have you with us. Oh, great champion of Eorzea, sign for the 7th Dawn, warrior light, and all-around good egg, I'm sure. There's 2 eyes. What is this place? I hear you've been to Kudane, where you'll have seen all sorts of foreign embassies and whatnot. Well, we've got them here in Razat Han too. Other lands send delegates to oversee trade and diplomatic dealings. Then there are military matters to discuss, which is why all these officers are stationed here in Sundrop. I imagine you're more than familiar with each of the nations they represent, yes? We've got representatives from Doma. Olda and Alamigo. Okay. Limsa Lamenza. Gridania. Okay. The squad's rolling up. And last but never let it be said least, Ishgard. They're the eyes and ears and mouths that bridge the distance between Razat Han and their respective homelands. We've used this brief respite to share the details of our plight with our overseas counterparts, and wouldn't you know it, all of their leaders have requested a few words from you specifically. You're a man in high demand, and so, would you mind regaling us with your own account indulgence before you indulge yourself? Okay. I thank you for the report. The conditions under which men are turned to beasts, the etheric anomalies you have possessed, you've given us much to consider. It is concerning that the first transformation apparently occurred before the skies turned red. 'Tis contrary to what one would expect. Thankfully, the information you conveyed to Lucia upon your return from the moon has already proved invaluable. As soon as reports of the calamity here in Thavnair reached the Grand Company of Eorzea and our Far Eastern allies, our leaders knew at once the final days were indeed upon us. They began taking steps to assess the extent of the phenomenon spread. Our agents were able to confirm that for the time being the skies burn only over the bounty and claim the islands of Courtless. Yep, I'm in. Continuing on. Alas, that is of little comfort. All throughout allied lands, there have been reports of people transforming into hideous beasts. From what little we have learned, these incidents are similar in nature to that involving the merchant Khazal. As was the case here, the victims underwent the change prior to the heavens being set ablaze. And so, while the burning skies have yet to manifest beyond the bounty, the transformations do not appear to be subject to any similar restriction. If anyone anywhere overcome by despair can't turn to nowhere safe. That's about the size of it. Speaking of which, we ought to give these creatures a name, don't you think? Here in Razahan, we've taken to calling the first to change, which tend to be the biggest blasphemies. As fitting as a name as any to ensure clarity in future communications, we shall urge our comrades to adopt this terminology. Our leaders have taken measures to deal with the threat to the best of our abilities. Each nation has assembled their own groups of elite soldiers to put down these so-called blasphemies and their spawn as when they appear. At the same time, they are doing all in their power to put the people's minds at ease and prevent panic and fear from spreading. That said, brave souls with the strength and fortitude to fell these terrible fiends are not easily found. Just so, and it is for the very reason that we turn to you. Pray lend us your strength and help us slay the blasphemies that plague our homelands. Now, you don't have to give your reply before dinner. I should also mention that each blasphemy seems to possess wildly different characteristics. That works well against one may serve you poorly against the other. So before you go rushing off to save everyone's day, have a word with the delegates. They'll tell you what to expect. And with that, I do believe our friend here has a feast to attend. Spare a thought for us while you're tucking into all that fine cuisine, eh? You have gained access to the role quest for Endwalker. A separate quest line of the end story is now available for tank, melee, DPS, all the classes. Wait. I thought they said they weren't doing the role quests anymore. Okay, then that. All right, because it was like I didn't think. Good to know. Yeah, and fly through all. What was it, like 20 role quests? Pray forgive Char, but her rudeness. She can be a bit boisterous at times, but it is simply her nature. Anyway, my apologies for keeping you from your hard-earned rest. You will be rejoining your companies, yes. Do you know the way to the May? Glad to hear you're becoming familiar with our fair city. You'll be pleased to hear that all drinks are on the house, so order whatever suits your fancy. And with that, I must return to my post. On behalf of all the radiant host, I thank you and your friends once more for lending your strength and courage to Ra's at hand in time of need. We shall endeavor to fight the good fight to the end, that we might honor Ahiwan's legacy and serve Master Vitra well. You have my word that your efforts will not be in vain. Welcome. When the Sawtrap asked us to entertain a party of honored guests, I was wondering who it might be. This is a lovely surprise to say the least. By the way, I heard all the Kazala from your friend Gratia. I understand there was nothing that could be done, but I was heartened to hear he didn't mean no harm, whatever she said. I cannot thank you enough for dispatching the beast. That's the smallest token of our thanks. Your food and drink tonight are Maria's treat. Speaking of which, what shall I start you off with? water. We're just trying to stay healthy here. As you wish, pray join your friends. Welcome back, whatever did the Radiant want to... Our allies have sent military delegates. That's news to me. Mind sharing the details?
So blasphemies now plague all the realm.
It will only get worse if what Father said is true, as it did in Amarot.
If that's our model, then shouldn't we expect the effects to grow more severe as it feeds off its own spread? As if people transforming into those monstrosities wasn't bad enough. If the flora and fauna, if the land itself turned against us.
No one would survive.
Here's your order, friend. May you find comfort in these dark times.
Where do we go from here? If there's one thing we've learned, fighting blindly and simply reacting to what comes will accomplish nothing. We must find a solution that addresses the fundamental cause. Before our strength is exhausted, before this crisis spirals out of control. Is there something, anything we've overlooked?
If there is an answer, Hydaelyn herself will have it. 'Twas she who bound Zodiark and forestalled the final days. Alas, we have heard naught from her since the Tower of Babel. Whether she cannot or will not speak, I can only speculate. Even the flower she gave us is no more. So advised the Watcher. What could be the significance of that name? It is entirely unfamiliar to me.
To me as well. It meant something to the ancients, though. In our time.
Most surely. Yet I do not recall a single mention of it in the records of Anida.
Another dead end. And quite literally. It's not as if there are any ancients living we could go and ask.
Not alive as such, but not quite dead. Elidibus. I sealed him in the white auricite of the Crystal Tower back on the first. Contained within that reservoir of ether that maintains it, ether that is returned little by little to the sea. Naught may remain of his soul. However, if part of it lingers, we might be able to speak with him there. I know we can no longer make that journey, but you, my friend, still can. Thank you, my friend. That would mean much to me.
If nothing else, should we learn the First is safe, we'll have that much more reason to keep fighting the good fight. That said, the odds are not in our favor, to say the least. Which is why we're fortunate to have Urianger up there on the moon, working hard to make all the necessary preparations for our departure, should it come to it.
And why we have nothing to lose by staying the course till the last instant.
Indeed. To the last, let us all do what we can. I will consult with Master Matoya and see if she knows of a way to reach Hydaelyn from the Ethereal Sea.
And I will visit the nation's leaders and attempt to ascertain how far the final days have progressed elsewhere.
Keep me abreast of your findings. I can seek out and slay the worst of the immediate threats, if only to slow the spread.
Unease, terror, despair. Try as we might to suppress them, these emotions will return to harry us time and time again. But when they do, remember this. Your friends and loved ones are out there somewhere, sharing in your struggle. You are not alone.
So ends the brief respite before the next revelation. Yes, so much left for you to see. Where beginning ends, and end begins.
Unfortunately, I had a phone call, so hopefully you all enjoyed listening to that, because I missed all of it. Oh well. Now then, is there anything we've forgotten to mention? Are your arms and armor in good gear? In that case, this time we each attend to our task, and when you arrive on the first, give my regards to Rin. Tell her I miss her. Oh, shit. Take this missile and my spirit vessel. Empty now, of course, but it should allow you to operate the tower systems and the umbilicus. If even the smallest fragment of its essence remains, it should be possible to locate it. As for access to the umbilicus, pray to seek out Lena for assistance. Chances are she still stands watch at the gate. Should she or anyone else ask for me, ask after me, tell them I am living my life to the fullest, that I am happy in hardships and all. Well, we had best be on our respective ways. Good. God's willing, we will see each other ere long. Alright. So we're just going and teleporting to the first. Alright, Lena, where you at? Out front. I guess I can technically teleport out there. Give me 1 minute. Alright, back to our regular scheduled programming. Mass, you returned. Have you been well, you and the others? Then things are much the same for you as they are here, and my lord is doubtless enjoying himself. He said this to you, these exact words? Oh, to know that he is happy, it fills my heart with joy. Thank you, Mats, for taking care of him. When next you see him, please tell him to not to overexert himself, futile request though it is. And tell him that all is well here. The peace you gifted us continues, and we work hard to build lives in ourselves. And in the course of this, we occasionally bicker, but we've never been more optimistic. If I had to mention one dilemma, it would be the question of our governance. Even as we speak, debate rages on how we should run the city in the Exarch's absence. Most are of a mind that the settlement councils should continue to oversee the general running of the Crystarium, while representatives are elected to determine policy and handle diplomacy. Thus far, nothing is set in stone, but however we chose to proceed, we will not replace our lord. No one could. Have we recently observed any unusual phenomena? No, I cannot say. Curious that you should ask me this question, though. Some days ago, Rin came and asked the very same. She was rather unsettled, in stark contrast to how cheerful she has been of late. She and the other Crystarium youths just hosted a festival. You see, it proved so popular that there are already plans for another celebration, one much bigger than the first. Between her preparations for the festival and the restoration of the empty, she struck me as happy and full of life. So when I saw her in a state of such worry, I couldn't help but feel worried in turn, especially since she wouldn't tell me what troubled her. I dare say she would be more willing to confide in you. May I ask to broach the subject with her? You wish to enter the umbilicus? Very well, I shall fetch the key at once and take the opportunity to find Rin. Please wait for me in the city, in front of the Cabinet of Curiosity. Shall we say, I will be along as soon as I can. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any paying duty fine or register. Okay. Good friend of ours. Actually, the FC leader too. Getting muted. I just realized I was muted and I was reading all that. Great. So hopefully y'all read that. So now I'm sitting here waiting, everyone's gonna come visit. Is that the Warrior of Darkness? Kids. It's him, it's really him. What are you doing here? If you're going to battle, can I give you some medicine? I made it myself. Best not, Ricky. Ricky Bobby. You only give him a stomachache. We've come to see Maureen to get his advice. One of the guards finally agreed to teach us how to fight, but first we need to choose a fighting style. While I know that I want to be a mage, a Krill isn't sure. Magic isn't really my thing, so I was thinking of taking up the axe, or the sword, or maybe the bow. They all seem alright, but it's hard to decide, so I thought I'd ask Maureen. He knows about lots of these things. He isn't here? Aw. Why don't you have the Warrior of Darkness choose for you? What do you think suits a Krill best, axe, sword, or bow? I think he'll be a good paladin. The sword, if you look up the sword, you could be just like Brandon, the Warrior of Light. I love that tale. Let's borrow the book today. It's really popular though. Hope it's still there. Thanks for helping me decide Warrior Darkness. I'll start with that style and maybe try something else later on. And when I get really strong, I hope to have a bout with you. Kids, sweet. Innocent souls, they'll never know the impending doom that's currently happening on our other world. And hopefully never will have to. Who might it be next? Such fun he's been having, basking in the adoration of musty old bookworms and wide-eyed younglings, but does he spare a thought for me? Of course not. Look down. I waited and waited and waited, but he won't so much as acknowledge the presence of his beautiful branch, even though they're right here. Such a heartless thing our sapling is. Cold, cruel. If you truly miss me, you should have cried for me at the top of your lungs the instant you arrive. To make up for it, you will call with twice the passion next time, though for there to be a next time you've some few struggles to overcome. So my adorable sapling. The world is, I can't do a Scottish voice. World's on the verge of destruction, is it? How do I know this? Joined as we are, spying on you is as simple as sliding down the back of a rainbow. Would that I could aid you in your quest, but the fate of we Fae folk is bound to that of the star. Whether it goes, so too do we follow. Such is our way. The most I could do for you is spare you the pain by gifting you the sweetest of eternal dreams. But if escapes not to your liking, then you must struggle with your fellow mortals. Ah, but they are the ones you were waiting for. I wonder what manner of conclusion awaits that tale's end. Alright. Where's everyone at? There she is. My apologies for the delay. Mass, it's so wonderful to see you again. No doubtless have much catching up to do, so I shall leave you to it. I've taken liberty of unlocking the umbilicus, and you may enter at your own leisure. I'm relieved to hear that everyone is well. I've had this feeling like a pit in my stomach, and I was afraid that something might have happened. Maybe I'm overthinking things, but it's just that. I'm the Oracle of Light, but I've never spoken with Hyland, never once heard her call. Even so, I've always had this feeling deep inside me, a connection to something immense. These past few days, though, that connection has wavered, as if that immense something was distant, then close, then distant again. And then the other night, I was jolted awake by the feeling it had been completely severed. Wanting some fresh air, I went to the open window, and to my horror, the sky was ablaze like during the star shower. But then I blinked and everything was normal. The next day, no one said a thing. No one else had seen what I had seen. As far as I could tell, nothing was out of the ordinary. I began to wonder if it was a figment of a half-remembered dream. Yes, what are you not telling me? I have to know. Please. It doesn't matter how terrible it is. So are they going to include Gaia, or is Gaia just going to be her own girl somewhere else? It wasn't my imagination then. The doom we witnessed in Amrah has come again. I can't believe it. Like I told you before, all is well here in the First, so don't worry about us. Please, look only to the threat before you. We're fine right now, and if we weren't, we've learned how to survive. Should the final days reach us here as well, you may be assured we won't go quietly. No, we'll hold on until you can find a way to save all our world. So long as you continue your fight, so too will we, united in purpose beneath a blazing sky. You're headed to the Umbilicus to consult with the Elpis, right? I'll do some consulting of my own and speak with Lena, decide how we might best prepare for the final days. So it's farewell for now, but we'll see each other again, I'm certain of it. Cool. Master Matsuo, welcome back. The captain has told me I'll give the word and I'll show you to the ocular. Let's go. Oh gosh. 3 years. It seems like we were just here. Saving the world. And now we gotta do it again.
Biometric authentication complete. Please state your business. Acknowledged. Reinitializing Circus Tower systems. Searching for Elidibus entity. Target located in subterranean core power accumulator. Projecting image.
My home. My friends. No more than a dream. You. Why have you awakened me? I no longer sense those places beyond, or Lord Zodiark. You must explain all. So, he is fallen, and my brethren's souls returned to the star. The doom we sacrificed so much to prevent is come again. Old burdens now yours to bear. But if this is Fandaniel's design, then I, as Elidibus, have a duty to fulfill. Your unsolicited act has restored to me some few memories of the Convocation. Such knowledge as I have, I will share. I do this not for you. I merely perform my duty, as I have ever done. Where to begin? Ah, the end. Your understanding of what caused the final days is consistent with our own. The decay first took root where the currents were weakest. Yes, a conclusion drawn by him, Fandaniel. Not the him of here and now, but as I knew him, long, long ago. Having shed light upon the phenomenon, he dedicated himself to devising a countermeasure. Were it not for his knowledge of the Celestial, we would never have made the connection, and thence forestalled the final days. And though he inherited that noble soul, how different this last incarnation, so consumed by self-loathing and hate. Elpis. Yes, the name is familiar to me. Yet I know it not as a flower, but a place. A testing facility for determining which of our creations were fit to be released into the world. Many worked there, and before joining the Convocation and assuming the title of Fandaniel, he was their chief. He was Hermes.
Excuse me?
That is all I know. The crystals tell little of the lives the 14 led prior to their induction. Elpis itself would tell even less. Nary a ruin has survived. Wait. I saw you there. In Elpis.
What is going on?
No. I did not. But I did. I did. A lingering trace of impossibility. And a truth that fills my heart. My memories remain clouded, I fear. However, they have revealed to me one possible course. You must travel to Elpis, to the time when Hermes served as its chief. In glimpsing the Exarch's memories, not only did I make his summoning magic mine own, I also mastered the workings of this tower, which, having absorbed my empowered essence, now harbors an abundance of energy. As such, I believe I can deliver you unto the past, unto that place and that precise moment. Given the eons that must be traversed, the gateway will not be fully formed. Your form will be less tangible still than those warriors of light I had summoned. In all likelihood, none will be able to see or hear you. Yet even should you manage to interact with others, you will be unable to effect meaningful change. For the reality you wish to save, the reality to which you must return, exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present. Cannot unmake the sorrow and suffering fated to come. In full knowledge of this, will you still entrust your life to your foe and make the journey? Very well. I shall cast you unto the river of time. Let this be my final act. You must input the commands. I no longer have the authority. First, you must reconfigure the systems, that the tower's ether may be channeled for the magic. The preparations are complete. The gateway will soon open. Return at once to the ocular.
Man, we're going back in time. More time travel.
All appears to be in order. The ether flows unimpeded.
Let's do this.
The magic should consume every last mote of my essence. Why are you surprised? Did I not say that this will be my final act?
He didn't lie.
Lord Zodiark is no more. There is nothing for me here. The ones I love and long to see again are waiting in that promised land, beyond memory and dream. Now go, warrior of light. Go, and do not look back. Well, Heidelin, I take my leave of you. Yours is the mantle of the last of us. May you have the joy of it, the burden, and the solitude. It falls to you now. You and your champion to save our star.
Oh, here we go again. Elpis. The place of the Hammeridians. Oh, and my controller got it. Boop. I really hope that's still trying to charge. Alright. No, so we're just gonna attune with it. Okay. Despite attempting to channel and focus your energies, you fail to attune to the device. You can only assume it's like a black-robed man The remarkably large man wears a black robe and a half-mask, much like the phantoms you encountered in Maryland, Lemontorum, and Greater Amarat. It would seem you have made it to your destination. You gesticulate wildly and shout all manner of greeting and obscenities, but the man does not as much as glance your general direction. Okay. Setting. As the list was warned, it appears your form is intangible. This is the right place, yes. Propylian. Judging by the woman's words, this facility is called Propylian. You tend to gently prod the woman to attract her attention, but feel nothing, and it seems neither does she.
And here we are, Elpis.
Oh.
Well, well, how rare to receive you in person. To what do we owe the honor? Oh, just a few odd tasks. We'll be here a while. You're welcome to stay as long as you see fit, of course. As a matter of procedure, however, I must ask that you kindly remove your masks.
Come now. Is this truly necessary? Surely you can tell who we are.
Who you are, perhaps, but I am far less infamous. Regardless, if we do not follow protocol, 'tis our hosts who would be held accountable. So, please, do favor us with your handsome face.
Satisfied?
Yo, man.
I thank you for your cooperation. You are free to go about your business.
Jeez.
By the by, you see it too, yes?
Oh, they know I'm here.
I haven't the foggiest what you're talking about.
It's like, come on, man.
That's odd. right here. A bit thin in the ether, but there's no mistaking it. The color of its soul is almost identical to Azem's. Do you suppose he created it? Rather unusual for a familiar to have a soul, though.
Don't ask me. All I know is that it's trouble. Doubly so if it's his spitting image. So let's leave it be. Come now.
It's trying to say something, but it's literally too intangible to form words. Why don't you give it some ether? Spare a snifter of your bounteous reserves.
Who do you take me for?
Why, a dear friend, of course. One who wouldn't let acts of kindness, such as my accompanying him on errands to far-flung outposts, go unrewarded?
I suggest you close your eyes, or this may be unpleasant.
What the freak is happening?
You may open your eyes.
Oh, geez, we're as tall as them.
Oh, you even adjusted its size.
The better to indulge your whim. This way, it will be easier to communicate.
How very thoughtful of you. And may I applaud your artful reinforcement. Without further ado then. Greetings! I am Hythlodaeus, Chief of the Bureau of the Architect. Sulking beside me is the most honorable Emmett Selk of the Convocation of 14. And how might we address you, my new friend? A fine name, and I'm pleased to see you understand our words. So, tell us, whence have you come? The thinness of your essence suggests you weren't created here. You do not know? Or cannot say? Allow me to ask a different question then. What brings you here?
Need your help?
Well now, the same as us. Perhaps Azim wished to come too, but had to settle for a familiar.
If he truly wished to be here, then he would be.
Right you are. My apologies if we've given offense. The two of us can discern the color of souls, you see, and yours happens to resemble that of a friend. And with your purpose matching our own besides, we jumped to a hasty conclusion. We are here to speak with Hermes, the chief overseer of this facility, which we also intend to tour in order to gain greater insight into the man's work. We, I say, though this is Emmett Selk's charge. I am here only to serve as his guide. And I should be happy to serve as yours as well, by way of an apology for the misunderstanding.
Wait. Are you suggesting that we bring it along on official business? This thing we know next to nothing about?
If you harbor suspicions, better to keep it close than leave it to its own devices. Wouldn't you agree? Besides, having a mysterious life form in tow is the norm rather than the exception here. Welcome, my friends, to the testing ground of creation at Heaven's Edge. Elpis.
Oh, this is that world they teased.
This presence.
Visitors! We have visitors!
If we got freaking Greek gods now, what was the messenger of the gods?
What secrets are you hiding, I wonder?
Yo, what is going on? It just doesn't feel right that we're as tall as them. This is hardly my first time here, but the necessary scenery never fails to take my breath away, while it feels as if you could reach out and touch the heavens. Now then, to begin our guided tour, perhaps you already know these things, but for the sake of thoroughness, I shall start with the basics. Using concepts to give shape to aether, creation magic allows us to bring forth anything we desire, be it inanimate objects or living beings. Anyone may conceive of concepts, but they must all undergo evaluation at the Bureau of the Architect. As part of the process, living beings and certain arcane entities may be sent here to Elpis for in-depth observation and study. A fascinating facility, isn't it? I dare say you will enjoy touring it with us. Now then, our friend Hermes, aside from overseeing the facility, he also conducts his own research. Chances are he will be at the main observation hub. Let's take it. Tired as you are, however, you stand out a little too much. Our dear Emmett So wishes to keep a low profile for his errands. So, do you know how to make a robe? The basic concept will do. No, in that case, no. Your whim, your responsibility. You're getting not another thimble of ether out of me. It's the way he scrimps sometimes, you think he wasn't a nigh bottomless font of magic. Very well, I shall make the rope, but perhaps you can assist. Come, let us search for the requisite material. Okay, hold on. We did it. Yeah. You've caught him? Come, let's see. Yes, these fine fellows will do nicely, and now for a spot of reversion. There it is. It's nothing fancy, but then we're trying not to stand out. Try it on. Oh, it's fine. There's no one around to tell us off, and besides, we can always make more. They only need a tiny amount of aether. It may take some effort to get the form and composition right, but anyone familiar with the concept should be able to manage. Well and good to disguise and educate it, but it won't fool anyone who can. Fair point, but at the very least, it should spare you unwanted attention from casual observers. It may speak truth. Even dressed like us, your unusual nature will be plain to those who think to look. Should someone question your presence, don't make up excuses, much less try to explain what you actually are. No, best to simply say that you are familiar. The question is, whose? Of course, Azim's. If you say you belong to him, people will give you the benefit of the doubt for any and all outlandish behavior. Exploiting our associate's absence. For lack of his presence, absolutely. Were he here, he'd have been the first to propose the idea, and you know it. With that, your story is settled. Let's continue on. If you're ready, let us continue along the path of Argonis. The place serves as an observation hub, and residents both some there should be able to point us in the direction of Hermes. Yes, can I help you? We wish to speak with Chief Hermes. Do you know where we might find him? Well now, by your mask I assume you were one of the 14. I wasn't aware there was to be a visitation. Between you and us is something of a surprise. Your discretion in the matter would be appreciated. I see. My lips are sealed. The chief should be out conducting observations as usual. His focus of late has been aquatic creatures, so I expect you'll find him near the pools. The pools, you say. Many thanks, and apologies for disrupting your work. I say, Hytheldius, I forgot how you pronounce it already. While I've never met Hermes, you know him. Well, I've never met Hermes, you know him well, do you not? And that being the case, could you simply find him by his aether? Aye, that I could. As you know, him itself and I can discern the color of souls. By the same token, we can also see the aether quite keenly and from great distances. With this skill, I could readily locate Hermes, but I felt that it would be a waste of an opportunity. We're here to perform an assessment after all. By searching the ordinary way, we stand to gain insight into Elpis and the man in charge of it. This is as much for you, for your own enjoyment, like it's not, but point taken. If you're going to accompany us and make yourself useful and help us find Hermes. According to his profile, he has short dark hair. So you know it's because we're in Elpis that we don't have our cows up. A special exemption due to the need to be aware of dangerous creatures. Elsewhere, we do not exhibit our individuality. It's unseemly. This is all the common sense, but I would not assume you possess any. It's a rare treat indeed to be able to search for someone by their appearance, and I thank you for humoring me. Come, let's find our man. Dang, so being like this to them is uncomfortable as far as you could say. What the heck is this new creature?
Huh. You are...
Oh. Different. You're different too. You and me. We're alike. Friends. I want to be... Wait. Please. Wait. Greetings and salutations. Can you hear me? Do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. I wish only to hear your words, share your feelings, and know your thoughts. May we please be friends? May we please be friends?
Ah, I see you found him.
Hythlodaeus. It's been a while. Too long, I think.
Too long indeed for close collaborators. On this blessed occasion, I bring not only myself, but others who long to speak with you.
You were of the convocation.
Emmett Selk, at your service. Do I have the honor of addressing Hermes, Chief Overseer of Elpis?
You do. You have traveled far for it.
Given your facility's purpose, its remote location is something of a necessity. Would that I didn't have to rely upon a guide.
Oh, you wound me. Have I not ever been an attentive and helpful friend? But moving along to more agreeable company, this one we chance to... Well, you certainly have her attention. Is she one of yours, Hermes?
Her name is Meteon. It means shooting star.
If I may make an observation, her ether is terribly thin. I fear she might dissipate at any moment. Nor do I believe you've made a submission to the Bureau. I would remember such a concept if you had.
I haven't, as you say. I judged it too early. She's a pet project of mine, still undergoing preliminary testing. But rest assured that I will attend in person ere long.
Very well. Being an authority on flying life forms, I appreciate that you are exacting in your work. I shall look forward to your submission.
If we have finished with the perfunctory chit-chat, I would discuss official matters. By my coming, I trust you already anticipate the subject.
I have an inkling, yes. Please wait in the main building yonder. I shall join you as soon as I've returned these creatures to their homes.
What's wrong, Hermes?
An amystoma is missing.
I may have found it. A creature with the self-same ether as those there, nestled in the boughs of a tree outside the grounds.
You're saying they can climb with their sorry excuses for limbs?
The fashion has been to imbue aquatic creatures with the power of flight, ever since the words of Metron created a sky-swimming fish. The ambystomas too can fly, if only slightly, and they could conceivably climb a tree. Whether they can come down safely, however... Excuse me.
I'll help, too!
And what are we supposed to do with this lot?
May I suggest we split up? If you would be so good as to assist Hermes, Emmett Selk and I shall keep an eye on these adorable creations in the meantime.
I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what to expect. Hermes saw it up high in the tree, climbed up to get it, but it jumped on him and he slipped. No, I'm fine, if a little embarrassed. Now for your own safety, please stand back. Oh. Hermes, are you alright? Quite alright, yes. My apologies for making you worry. Both you and her. Mass, you were called. An intriguing name, somehow reminiscent of a new creation. Thank you for coming after me. As for you, little one, you must be more careful. You may be able to fly, but it doesn't mean you cannot fall and hurt yourself. Oh no, I forgot about all about its fellows. Truly, what a relief. I must thank Eminent Hytheldius when I return to them. But first, as Chief Overseer Elpis, permit me to welcome you to our facility. I hope you'll enjoy your time here. Jeez. Everything. We mustn't keep the others waiting. Let us return to our gonuses. My apologies for the trouble. Owing to your kind assistance, all of the are safe and well. I will presently send them back to their space. If you would go on ahead to the main building. Upon entering, you will see a table and chairs, a meeting area. We may speak there. Very well, take care not to let the creature slip away again. It kind of looks like like almost a old days college campus. Can't attend to it right now, so I know maybe I can.
This appears to be the place. And here is where we part ways. We will be discussing highly sensitive affairs. Only a select few may be privy to such knowledge, and that does not include someone who cannot or will not divulge their origins. What? Will I have to remove you by force? Let's hear them then, these reasons of yours. Who knows? If I deem your mysterious cause worthy, I may even be inclined to offer my assistance.
I do not object to his attendance.
Hermes, this is highly irregular.
Perhaps, but I believe he can be trusted. Meteon would not have taken to him so quickly otherwise. Moreover, the presence of a third party may help me to maintain composure.
As you wish, then. Behave yourself, do you hear?
So, it's finally happened, then.
Aye. Van Daniels declared his intention to step down, and named you as his preferred successor. In recognition of your knowledge and your works, the Convocation is giving the recommendation due consideration. As one who does not know you personally, I am to use my impartial eye to take your measure. And above all else, to ascertain your disposition towards the invitation. I understand that you and Van Daniel are close. He himself was once chief overseer of Elpis after all. I should not be surprised if you knew before anyone else that he wished to relinquish his office.
I did. He told me that when he fulfilled his purpose, he wished to pass the torch to me.
A torch you seem none too pleased to accept. Are you so averse to serving on the Convocation?
No, it's not that. For a humble researcher like myself to even be considered is an honor beyond words. No. What troubles me, what I struggle to come to terms with, is the very fact that Van Daniel is stepping down. Does this not mean that he will return to the Star?
Of his own volition, yes, like so many others have before him.
Return to the Star? Does that mean die?
Well now, that's not a word I hear often. Is that what you say here in Elpis? Mankind is the life of Aetheris. Each of us, a drop of blood flowing through its veins, bearing sustenance. In our finite time upon it, 'tis our duty to make it a better place, that all who call it home, now and in future, may abide in happiness. To that end, we have dedicated ourselves to the pursuit of enlightened creation. And by our efforts did we transform this once untamed wilderness into the peaceful paradise you enjoy today. To return to the star whence we came is a privilege afforded to we who have so loved and nurtured it. A choice embraced by those who have lived their lives to the fullest, in service to our world. And when they depart upon this journey, it is beautiful, always.
The 14 are no exception. 'Tis believed no occasion is more felicitous than the fulfillment of one's duty. Our office becomes our lives, and to retire is to return, or so the majority of us hold. Some few have elected to eschew custom. Mayhap you feel Van Daniel's deeds do not warrant his return. Yet you should know his accomplishments as well as any. During his time, he conceived of countless outstanding concepts. And channeling the wealth of experience he attained here in Elpis, he brought forth many new specimens.
I know of all this. I do. It's just, I cannot fathom why someone so great and wise, who could still do so much good, would want to end it all. Oh no, I've made her upset. Forgive me. I know I requested your presence. Might I trouble you to take Meteon outside? A change of scenery would do her good.
So much crap is happening. You want to learn about Elpis and Hermes? Oh. Teach you, I can teach you. We could take turns. I tell you something, then you tell me something. It will be. Where to start? Ah, yes. Let's talk to Mimon. He should be near the Aetherite. I'm not good at explaining, but Mimon is, so I'll have him explain instead. For that, you need teleporters. Oh, and permission. Permission, you say? Ah, what have we here? Though you look like a person, you have the features of a beast. I assume you are familiar like Median. Is there something you need? This is Mats. Can you teach him about Elpis? Ah, a newly arrived familiar. Is he very well? I should be glad to introduce our fair facility to him. As you know, it is mankind's duty to make the star a better place. As part of this duty, we employ creation magics to bring forth new life. However, we cannot simply release our work into the world, for it will lead to chaos. No, any and all life forms must undergo extensive testing to determine their fitness to exist. Testing which is conducted here in Elpis. Every candidate is subjected to rigorous study in which we identify their properties, summarize what habits might be suitable, and speculate as to the effects they would have on their own environment and other species. Should it be judged a beneficial addition to the star, it will be allowed to take its place in the world. The two of you were created with the hope of making the star a better place, so heed your masters well and be good. Do you hear? We will. Thanks for the lesson. Where did you come from? I probably don't know it. I don't know much about other places. A creation. Let's find a creation. One not being washed, then I'll explain my power. Spriggans. What are Spriggans? Oh no. I want to do this real quick. Yeah. Oh no, we call them Orii. If there's many, it's just, though they're cute, they can be naughty. Sometimes they run off with concept crystals, and Hermes has to run after them. The Motionless Bird. But I don't remember seeing it before. Perhaps it's new. Not the bird. Anyway, I'll try reading its mind. That's my power. What if the bird was the cause of the calamity? The true cause? I can't read it, or maybe there's nothing to read. Wait, please wait, I'll try again. With you, it's time. I mean, that might not be good. Greetings, can you hear me? This is my power. I can read the emotions of those around me and project my emotions to others in return. I'm not actually speaking to you in your mind, rather you are converting my emotions into words and intention, a process performed subconsciously by intelligent life forms. This ability is vital to my mission, for it allows me to interact with intelligent beings, even should they communicate via unknown languages or other nonverbal means. As a consequence, I am clumsy at speaking. Yet, though I struggle to express myself in this fashion, Hermes wants me to speak as much as possible, for everyone has thoughts and feelings that they may wish to hide. I harbor an affection for you, one that is difficult to define. Aside from the fact that you share common traits with us, your thoughts are complex, prismatic. They draw me in and leave me wanting to know more. Out of respect for your privacy, I will refrain from using my power when speaking with you. Nevertheless, I want you to know that I wish to be your friend. Did you hear me? Yeah, good. Now it's my turn again, so what are you good at? Playing. I'm not sure what that means. Hermes says let's play, but then he goes for a walk or looks at creations as fun, but no different from work. He stares into the bottomless soul. No, I missed my chance. Yeah, there we go. Got my chance back. Screenshots. Let's keep going. We'll go and see Euthane next. She'll usually in a small building, one to the west row. Oop. Yes, we'll go ahead and guess I can leave it on there for now. I can. Well, if it isn't Medion, I see you've brought a friend today. Greetings, Euthane. An apple? Could you make me an apple? The kind Hermes likes, covered in syrup. I want to share it with Matt. Oh, candied apple? Hermes is certainly partial to them, but you know you can't eat Medion. You weren't made to do so. But I like it too. It may seem that way, but it's due to your ability to share other feelings. You've taken Hermes like for your own. In any case, I can't prepare an apple right now, but I'll bring one for Hermes soon. That's what's happening. I'm generating. I'm sorry, Mass. I wanted to show you my favorite thing that I could ask about yours, but I failed. Oh, that's what you like? Yes, I can feel it. Your joy and happiness, and it makes me happy too. Thanks for sharing it with me. Well, we've walked and talked a lot. Maybe Hermes has finished talking to you. Shall we go and see? Oh, that's funny. Man, I can dye this, huh? I'm not going to dye that pure white dye. Pure white right now. We'll stay with what we have. There you are. I can see the fresh air has done Medion good. Mass wanted to learn about you and Elpis, so I taught him about this place, about my power, about your favorite food. I'm not sure if if that last one will be of any use, but I do appreciate you're keeping Medion company. While you were away, I finished speaking with our guests. Finished heartily, he requested time to consider the invitation, so we have no choice but to occupy ourselves with an inspection of your work. I have my apologies. It has been decided that Emmett and Hythelius will accompany me as I tend to my duties. If you wish to learn more, perhaps you would like to come too? I'm compelled to remind you that he is in no way associated with the convocation. We simply chanced to meet at Propolion. There is no guarantee that the matters we discuss will remain private. I do not mind. To see the joy his presence brings me beyond, I cannot imagine our mysterious friend harbors malicious intent. Mats is kind, really, truly. He taught me as much as I taught him. We're coming, of course, to watch Hermes. You're bound to learn lots and lots. We are schmoovin'. If everyone is ready, there are a few creations I need to check on. First, we shall return to the spot where we found our wayward Abystoma. Have care when you step outside a hub, for there may be unruly creatures about. This here is a new species of butterfly we recently let loose. It has been doing very well, managing to maintain a stable existence thus far. If it can see its observation period to the end without issue, we shall release it into the world. Tell me, do you know the difference between living beings and arcane entities? It is the presence of a soul, yet the soul isn't something you can choose to have at will. No, it manifests only in those beings whose forms adhere to the laws of creation that can endure on their own. Beings that do not fulfill these requirements, such as those spontaneously born of magic or natural phenomena, do not have souls. No matter how much it might resemble flora or fauna, if it lacks a soul, then it is considered an arcane entity. So you see, it is not for mankind to decide what is living. That domain lies beyond our manipulation, and it is hubris to assume otherwise. But come, let us heed to the nearby beacon. I received a report that arcane entities have gathered there. Sorry if I breathe into the mic. I look over my other monitors on my left screen and mouth goes like straight into the mic. Don't mean to breathe heavy. Yes, lightning Numa, lightning sprites, just as the report said. Although we call this structure a beacon due to its form, it is in fact a magical device. By manipulating the balance of elements, it keeps the isle airborne and maintains the climate thereof. I don't know what that word is. In the course of its operation, it often sees an internal shift towards a given effect. Right now, that element is lightning, which draws the Numa here to replenish their aether. It appears Medion is busy. Would you care to assist me in her stead and feed the Numa? By using this lightning converger, you can harness ambient lightning and focus it all into a ball. A veritable feast for dazzling friends. Go on, give it a try. Already missed. Okay, use the lightning converger to create a ball of lightning. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. Am I supposed to use it on... Maybe I'm supposed to use it on the destination. There we go, okay. A little deceiving, but it is what it is. Perfectly done, Mats. Look. Oh. See how they gather to feed, how they express themselves through their actions despite their lack of words. Speech is not the sole defining characteristic of a thinking, feeling creature, nor is silence an indication that they do not possess these qualities. Be it a soulless arcane entity such as Numa, or an ephemeral life form such as the lightning sprites here, all seek to perpetuate their existence, to survive. Good Lord, words. A good question. I can answer it from a theoretical standpoint, but it ultimately falls to the Bureau of the Architect to pass judgment. Those with exceptional vision, such as Hythodius, may be able to ascertain her true nature. But to me, it doesn't matter. She is herself, and that is all I need to know. Oh, you finished already? I'm sorry. I was in the way. Not to worry, my dear. They miss nothing of note, and we still have plenty of work for them to observe. Next, we will head east to the Morning Dew. I need to speak with some observers there. Let's do this. So while we...
Amazing, is it not? The Ampelos, one of our newest subjects. So, how are we coming along?
This place is Elpis. Those flowers. Elpis. Entelekis. Like me.
They are a product of Elpis, and so named for their birthplace. A happy accident, born of the hands of a former researcher who loved beautiful blossoms. unique for how they change color, to reflect the emotional state of those nearby. Though be it here or elsewhere, they are seldom seen in any hue save purest white.
Reflect the emotional state, you say? By what means do they achieve this?
In creation, there exists an energy wholly apart from ether, one driven by emotions. In like manner to how we manipulate ether, this flower is subject to the influence of said energy. While it has no will of its own, it is sensitive to the prevailing emotion in the vicinity, and reacts by altering its color and vibrancy.
Akasha? It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feeling.
Akasha. Though I'm not familiar with the term, your description suggests it is the self-same energy. Dynamis, we call it. And those entities like the Elpis Flower that have the ability to interact with this energy, converting emotions into tangible phenomena, are Antelekis.
That's me! That's me! An Enteleki!
That you are, my dear. And no ordinary one at that, but the first possessed of free will.
Wait. A form of energy other than ether? Dynamis? I've never heard of such a thing.
Hardly surprising. Dynamis cannot be seen, much less felt. And though its existence has long been theorized, we had no proof until the flower's serendipitous creation. What's more, Dynamis is far weaker than ether. Under normal circumstances, its effects are drowned out by the latter. On account of which, beings comprised of and reliant upon the ether, like you and I, are unable to make practical use of Dynamis. 'Tis a truly esoteric thing, known to but a select few scholars.
Intriguing. Then, given the limitations you described, why create Meteon?
Our star, Aetheris, is especially rich in ether, so much so that its name is derived from it. However, when we consider all energy in existence here and in the vast space beyond, Dynamis may account for as much as 68.3%. The more abundant form by far. Were we able to control it, we could open the door to limitless possibilities. 'Tis not unlike a gently flowing stream, unable to break through the dam of ether barring its path. But if we could imbue the stream with the vigor of a raging river... Not that I have such grand ambitions. Nay. I merely wish to create a being that could traverse the great expanse. The relative scarcity of ether beyond the bounds of this star was a concern. And so, I looked to another source of energy by necessity.
That being Dynamis. No wonder her ether is so thin.
Precisely.
Yours is thin too. Like an entelechy. Like me. So... are we the same? Entelecchies.
Well, aren't we ungrateful? Mayhap I should revert you to the pathetic, faded thing you were.
A deficit of ether alone does not an entelechy make. It would, however, make it easier for you to interact with Dynamis. And limited though its influence may be, this quality could prove the difference between victory and defeat. You'd do well not to underestimate it. Oh dear. I'd forgotten about the poor fella. You must excuse me a moment while I go and verify a few more things.
No, no, no. You are not foisting this nonsense on me.
I'm given to understand you have the power to help the Charybdis, and should be quite willing to do so. And so I appeal to your better nature, most benevolent Emet-Selch. Please teach her to fly.
Or else Hermes will transform. Right now.
Now, there's no need to go quite that far. Altruism is its own reward, as I'm sure he would agree.
Oh, would he now? And who contrived to put me in this position, pray tell?
Nothing so devious. I merely suggested a possible course of action.
Please, Emet-Selch. Please.
I did not come all this way to play nursemaid to your creations. I'd thank you to remember this favor and let it be the last. I will aid it once it is taken to the air. It falls to you to shepherd it skyward.
Well, let's relax and enjoy the spectacle, shall we? You were wondering why Emet-Selch joined the convocation. Truth be told, he wasn't the first choice for the office. I was, on the strength of my ability to see ether. But I declined the offer. For though my vision is exceptional, I am pedestrian in all other aspects. Worse even. Quite abysmal when it comes to manipulating ether, for example. Couldn't transform even if I had a mind to do so. What good is the ability to perceive a problem if one cannot act to address it? Emet-Selch has no such shortcomings. He excels in vision and manipulation both, the latter to an extraordinary degree. If there is a mage more powerful, I do not know of them. Thus did I recommend him for the office in my stead. And I wasn't the only one. Far from it. Countless others vouched for his skill and character. People the world over, to whom he had previously lent a helping hand. Oh, how surprised he was. Claimed he hadn't done anything remarkable for anyone. Modest to a fault. He deserved every bit of acclaim he received. Yet he may well have gone unappreciated were it not for a mutual friend. A singular soul who can't help but involve himself in the business of others. Where he walks, excitement is certain to follow. His antics irritate Emet-Selch to no end. But much of his grumbling stems from genuine concern. When our friend calls, he never fails to answer and lend his talents. And in the course of doing so, he himself came to be recognized and respected by those around him. They are truly remarkable individuals, and I'm proud to call them friends. To help them realize their dreams. This will be my greatest contribution to our world. And when they have fulfilled their respective purposes, so too shall I have fulfilled mine, and together we may return to the star. Look at me, spilling my innermost secrets. I can't seem to help it with you. I can only assume it is due to the color of your soul. I just don't understand how you can be so alike and yet so different.
Well done, my pet. Well done!
Ah, yes. I dare say the Charybdis will be fine here on. Why don't you go and signal to Emmett Selk? Let him know that his arduous task is at an end.
Huh, apparently I have not been talking, but I have been ringing this whole time, yet again. So, hopefully, you all have been catching that. Oh, okay. Oh, Coneon, a flower trap. When Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe, but you're good, Matt. So, spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Medion has yet to arrive, but oh, that's right, you can't. You can sprint, but you can't hop on a mount. He's a terrible stench reminiscent sod and old booze pervades the air. It's an Adonis. The thing is around his mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on his teeth, on his head. When Hermes suspected it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think? Would he like it? So not this one either. Finding a good flower is harder than I thought. I'm sorry, Mass, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there. I'll pick something after that, I promise. Yeah, let's keep moving. Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Ah, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there. What could it be? And the flowers. Can you tone it down over there? Ooh, Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're ethereal, or they're not real. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, there's always white and bright. Truly, the flower was dark in your home, then do you have it too, a dark emotion? You don't have to say it. I can feel it's something you want to hide. But won't you lend it to me, the darkness inside you? I want you to make the flower dark in front of Hermes. He has been in a dark place since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone, that others are sad too. I got this. Truly, you'll do it? Easy. Pretty easy. Thank you, Mats. Thank you. It means more to me than I can say. I can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him. It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they finish.
Hermes!
Oh, you were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes, we've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. Emmett Selk and Hithildeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteion has shared much with you. May we talk a moment? I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said, when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare them the pain, but they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear. And it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? And I am filled with dread. But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. Owen asked what you thought as he kneeled beside the Elpis. Or if he only did it at Meteion's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort. To so willingly lend an ear to ease my burden, you are a strange one. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of Dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteion and her sisters. Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them. And they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus far I've naught to show for it. But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteion. Let us head back.
All right!
So many things, so much you need to know. Sorry, give me 1 sec again. Okay. Alright, let's continue. All too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time to attend to my text next. As Emilsilk and Hythodius are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Iconius. 7 were created for observation. All 7 must be unmade. Doris has followed the correct protocols as chief orders here. I can find no fault in his judgment. Lyconius would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hythodius has pledged to support me in his endeavor. Yet whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lyconians have served their purpose. Duros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will study him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion to the study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course, let's be off then. We return to the main isle. I guess, should I get this? Yeah, it's over here, it's the only one. Oh, just my little joke, Matt. Was it? Hippotho. Yes, we're getting to the Gala Kitten. Or one of the newest creations highly attuned to abnormalities in this environment. At first sign of danger, there's sound of the alarm, by which I mean meal. Okay. This morning we were testing her ability to pinpoint sites of conflict. Would you like to observe? Simply tell her the task has begun. Please. Maybe. Here, I follow the kitty. I can at least get one aether current here to trigger it. So I don't think collection 60 cents mile to the northwest. Bet you it's behind that rock. Good to know. in the night. Let's see this social. Let's see. You don't know what it is, Spork, so you have no reason to think about it. Yep. I was just telling Source that there was an Aether current over here, and she links that. I was like, I was like, what? Well, not the Aether current. At the very least, to tell her, it's like, hey, there's one over here, because we were right next to each other, but she ran off, so I don't think my shout chat would have caught her. So. Yeah, sorta. I mean, even then, someone's getting spoiled because she would have linked it in some way, shape, or form. So. This is what I saw her post. I was like, even I did it before you typed. I was like, that's funny. Exactly. Back to muted. It is how it must end, and so be it. I will render census damage self unneeded, though it is. You are to stay here with the Doros. But Hermes, Lycaons must be reverted. I would spare you the pain and mine. This is my burden, not yours, but if you are intent on helping them, please follow my lead. That should give us, yeah. We have one more world to see. What that world is, we don't know yet. Oh, that bad boy is flying. I appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present, but it feels threatened. It may well flee beyond our reach. Here is my plan. You will approach slowly in full view and draw the Echo's attention. Now I warn you, its abilities are fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not, but by my measure, you are more than equal to the task. Withstand the onslaught for a few brief moments, then we'll give you the time to catch it unaware. Ready? Let us begin. This will help out since she is on a healer. Alright. Omisha's floating.
Now.
Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me.
May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten. In concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. You're worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
Join the convocation, Hermes.
You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Fandaniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
Like, I just don't have any words for this game because it's just I have no words to convey how I'm feeling with this game. Where I'm at. Have been taken care of. The incident is resolved and life in Elpis continues as normal, or ends as the cause may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience? Word to now, if there's any. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, and then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful, our fellowship travels unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis and see what new encounters. Follow me, I'll head back towards Argonasis. We go to the pavement. No, not the controller dying again. Come on. From here, we follow the path north, we say. There we'll find one of the teleporters which facilitates travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. This is what I feared. It's not. Hello, charger. Okay, we gotta go and postpone that. Charger's not charging. Alright. Fixed. Shall we? Somehow gotta get wiggled out. Here we are, Natonius. The teleporter will take us to the Calamelios Zephyros, the western island. That's it, right there, looming large over there. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by... Well, well. An Arrayus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox. Consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight. Another, superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. Here we are.
Oh no, it's her.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Banar, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Vanar is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is he, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future? I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether. Primals, you say? But I'm not familiar with such beings. But if they enthrall by warping the balance of ether, then yes, the magic would afford you a measure of protection. I gather from your question that you are not ignorant to its presence.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past, to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting. I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to, and quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
Oh my gosh, now they know. Oh. Mondays.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Why don't you start from the beginning? Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Hydaelyn? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis Flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future whence he came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which he must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any, but we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this Story Ark in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable?
Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them. Ah, yes. The energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes. I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. Now suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmett Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus, I suggest we fall back on the third and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more about Hermes and Meteon, and I have a good idea of where we may begin. Crazy, man. Just crazy. Time travel can't hold a secret forever, that's for sure. I see the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismene. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held her position here quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insights. Go and ask your questions. I will help you with drawing out answers if need be, but I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Interesting. Greetings, it's me. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes, and I was wondering if you might indulge him. Certainly, Mistress Fana. Anything to be of your service. What do you wish to know? His interest, well, he is an authority on flying life forms and has extensive knowledge of living creatures in general. Is that what you wish to know? How would you describe him as a person or a colleague? He is a quiet man, reserved you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. Hope that your answer was a question. Was there anything else? I cannot right say, as the chief personal creation, Medion has not been subjected to observation and study like other concepts. So one day she was simply there, and what do you make of her abilities? I understand that she is a highly unusual familiar, able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies, I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I've not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. I beg your pardon. I've known Chief Hermes for many years, though I cannot say we were close. He has never withheld information to the detriment of our duties, if that is what you mean. Forgive us, we seem to have veered slightly off course here. Is there perhaps someone else who could tell us more about Medion? You're supposed to be... That would be Timaeus. He has similar expertise with flying concepts and is more than eager to discuss the subject. You'll find him conducting his observations on the bank of the stream, somewhat to the east. Oh, and unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and insight. Alright, let's see if we can find this next person. Our investigation is off to a fine start. Wouldn't you agree? From here, I propose we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers if you could track down the colleague named Ismene mentioned. Although I felt compelled to take the reins of the previous conversations, your fearless style of integrity. Interrogation will eventually lead you to answers. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once we finish speaking to Timaeus. Yes, I am too. I am too, Mouse, but please keep your voice down. You'll stir the birds. So, what is it you wish to speak about? Is it true you're an... Chief Hermes' work, a worthy subject indeed. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the chief creations apart, however, is how they benefit from this boundless knowledge in the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high that they disappear from view, others which traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know none of save he who conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else, dumbfounded by his genius. Despite my admiration for Medion as a concept, I have never delved deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift of communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If she or Hermes should choose to subject Medion's concept to the Bureau of Architect, then will the design be registered for public scrutiny? Analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, he came to me, a fellow artisan, looking for advice that he may entirely different story. Dynamis and Tecales, or however you say it. Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibited properties in one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard someone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Though I bring up the subject, I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of the Untitled Chapter. Now I really must return to my observations. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. I do, but I don't really want to. I don't care all. I guess it doesn't. What are the odds? Alright. Back already? That was quick work. You were obviously clever enough to head off any of that rambling, as me mentioned. So have you found any new findings to share? I see, even an expert in the field had little understanding of Medion's capabilities, let alone in awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Medion as his personal project and can provide no details beyond those which he just told me, which leads me to believe that the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definitive conclusions. Okay. I want to continue on with the story quest. I really do. But I am tired. So, I want to thank you all for watching. We will continue on sometime tomorrow. We're probably a few days out at this pace to beat the game, or to beat the expansion. So I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.